You don't say to mama, you don't read, oh. Says the tracking angel. You don't boast to mama, you don't cut. Now chain you the cut. Okay, now make I use my microscope, scan a reality, scan nigga area Biafra phobia mentality. See, set Mazin Nnamdi Kanu free. One war. They don't want to hear the name of Biafra. For them is a scary name of Biafra. I love this very name of Biafra. Biafra, most I Jaja bless Biafra, Chukwu Kika Biama bless Biafra, conscientiousness bless Biafra, Biafra, Biafra. Started in 1804 by Uthman Danfodio, Rinom go be to Sokoto, Boo Sa Amadou Bello, they massacred the Hausa, Mariri and Pura. What about the Shua? Zamfara and Adamawa. Referendum is the voice of everyone. Real freedom. Jawe must be done on the land. Simon, they don't want to hear the name of Biafra. For them is a scary name of Biafra. I love this very name of Biafra. 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 Most I Jaja bless Biafra. Chukwu Kika Biama bless Biafra. Conscientiousness bless Biafra. 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 They tried by the Kanu. This reckless Fulanis. They conquered the Lorraine. Fooling. They killing in Benue every day. Niger State and Plateau State. The whole of Middle Belt State every day. Our move, don't do. Say we move, but now we move. They don't want to hear the name of Biafra. For them is a scary name of Biafra. I love this very name of Biafra. Biafra, Biafra. Most I Jaja bless Biafra. Chukwu Kika Biama bless Biafra. Conscientiousness bless Biafra. Biafra. We know that they are the terrorists. Like the man called Shegumi, terrorist. Gabe Sheva Dixinabemi, terrorist. Isa Ali Ibrahim Batami, terrorist. Boko Haram in the army, terrorist. They stop the people from farming, terrorist. Abu Bakr Malami, terrorist. Mainstream media swami, terrorist. Now we have more sellers than buyers. Information minister liar. Mr. like Mohammed and liar. The truth is Biafra's fire. They don't want to hear the name of Biafra. For them is a scary name of Biafra. I love this very name of Biafra. Biafra, Biafra. Most I Jaja bless. Chukwu Kika Biama bless. Conscientiousness bless. Biafra. Biafra. They can come into Biafra land, run them out of do the wall and one them and run them out now. Yo, divided nations, decent, playing their bloody games against Biafra with the AU all the same. What a shame. Such a pain. Nnamdi Kanu says Biafra. He comes away. Biafra. Black people worldwide say Biafra. Marcus gave away. Biafra.
Good morning, ụtụtụ ọma, ụmụ Chineke, ụtụtụ ọma, ụmụnne m. I greet you all. Raphael Chiamaka Jere is my name. By the grace of Chukwu Kabiama Primihinile, the armor bearer of the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile. I greet you all and I bring you good tidings. There is something that came into my subconscious today and I want to put it out here to remind the world again and those that care to listen. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa represent the face of Biafra, and who they are exemplifies the entirety of Biafrans. Biafra is a Christian nation. Biafra is a nation that opposes justice, equity, and fairness. As far as the world presently, and even Africa is concerned, Biafra is the only sincere nation that can boldly say they are a Christian nation. Yes. We have resolved to uphold Christianity and our own tradition and Judaic religion. which is Judaism. So Biafra happens to be the only country that the West can choose as an ally nation. And that's the reason why the West must support Biafra. We are the only one that have insisted to make sure that we uphold the integrity of justice, equity, and fairness. The love of God in reality is only shown and practiced in Biafra, not in pretense, but in reality. When you talk about, oneness, living as one, cooperating, caring for others, it's exemplified in our own lifestyle in Biafra. These are the kind of things, the principles that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu upholds. Look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and see his life. He's a man of God, a man of equity, a man of fairness, a man of justice, a man that doesn't segregate, a man that looks at evil in the eyes and call it evil, a man that doesn't pretend. And that's why the West must support us. All this acrobatic jimboism played with the zoo and all this terrorist government of Nigeria, it won't help you in any way. Like the one Finland played, the one Finland played last year by picking up our prime minister. This is not going to lead you anywhere. It's not going to help you in any way. Because you cannot be pleasing the people that want you exterminated. Those people that you are opening your doors for, or you are pleasing, or you think that by being nice to them, they will be nice as well. There's nothing good they can give you back. The only thing they have is hate. There is no love in their ideology. There's no justice and fairness in their ideology. So if you see all these heavy attack against Christians in Nigeria, they target mainly are Biafrans, because Biafra is the main embodiment of Christianity. Go to all these countries, in all these states in Nigeria, the most people that are in depth with Christianity are Biafrans, Ndi Igbo. Go to the Catholic Church everywhere, even in the north. Go to Catholic Church in the north, you will see that almost every Igbo person there, they are Catholics, or they are, church people. They uphold this value, and they are very sincere people when they come to their worship and all that. So we are the only ally you can really rely on or trust. I'll bring you videos from one pastor, the interview that Abel Damina is a pastor. He has been interviewing a Muslim convert who has been telling him a lot about Islam, a lot about all these Muslim people, a lot about all the terrorist people. You cannot call IPOB a terrorist or Biafrans terrorists. There's nothing that looks like terrorism in our lifestyle or in our behavior or in our system. Nothing. So that's why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you can see him, he is upholding his integrity till tomorrow. So when people, if it were, to be free, to beg and be free and accept any condition, just to be free for being free, then later you can do anything you want to do, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would have done that since. But see, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he wants you to know that what he agrees with you now is what he will do any minute. If you set him free now, his life he has always upheld, he will uphold. The integrity he stands for, he will stand for it. He will not bend because of anything. So that is why you need to look into that matter properly and let it be proven to the whole world that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu didn't commit any crime. So this is also a warning and an advice for those thinking that let us go and beg for him. Let me tell you one thing. Those that are thinking of begging on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if you succeed in begging for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be released, you are begging for pardon for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I want to assure you that it is not an achievement. Oh, no. If maybe, let's assume that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is muzzled, not to even say anything, because I trust Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. that no matter how you beg and talk, you ask him, look, we are telling you, leave this Biafra, leave this thing, just be quiet, we are going to release you, be calm. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will never accept that condition. There's no condition that is going to he's going to accept apart from that he is right in his own right as a human being and as a Biafran to ask for the referendum or for the freedom of his people. So if, assuming you muzzle him now today, that he will not talk, and then you beg and beg and beg, and the presidency, because I learned that the governor of Abia State have gone to see the president very quick, and then you muzzle him and you release him because you beg and they pardon him, and to be announced, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a convicted terrorist, has been pardoned by Tinubu. It will be announced. I am telling you, it is a failure. It is not an achievement. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, oh my God, he will lay curses on all of you. But if you are going, let it be at the back of your mind that, look, there are terrorists for real that should be in the prison or that should be hanging on the gallows that are moving free. There are terrorists that Nigerian government can spend at least half of the resources they used to go and kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They spend it. Those terrorists that are killing people in Plateau, unaliving people in Benue, sending people out of their communities and taking over their communities. If they spend half of that resources, they will be able to nip them in the bud and give those people, those communities, give them free living standard, give them security in their neighborhood. If they can spend half of it. So how come those terrorists are free? Some of them are even having dialogue with state governments. Some of them are on the payroll of the government. And they are working free. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who condemned those terrorism, who spoke about it, who told the whole world that Nigeria state is actually masterminding these terrorists. He's the one now that is convicted, and you want to beg for him to be free. What you should be doing, Alex Oti and the rest of you, tell them that, look, for the interest of oneness, if you ever want oneness, for the interest of peace, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be free unconditionally. I want to use this opportunity. I didn't see the video, but I saw the write-up that Sim Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, made a statement that the federal government should release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and there is something he put in there in that write-up that I read, that they should release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. Anybody that is asking for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu release, whether it is begging or by political solution, you must add unconditional release for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is the only thing that will solve it. Unconditional. Now, unconditional means you're not going to tell him, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we are releasing you because we want you to stop talking about Biafra. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we are releasing you because we want you to go home or go to England or go to this place and keep quiet. And we are releasing you. We don't want you to talk or mention Biafra again forever. We are releasing you so that you will tell all Biafrans to stand down. Stop talking about Biafra. Let us see what the political feed will bring first before later. If they don't pay favor us, we'll not talk about Biafra. No. Condition attached to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release is abomination. It is already telling you that you are nobody. First and foremost, you as an Igbo man, you see what is being meted on you. You see what they are doing to you, and then your own leader, who actually means well and represents everyone, including those that are not Igbos, he represents their interests. Now they are meeting on him such evil they are doing to him, and then you are now begging. You are now begging, and then what happens? No, let me ask you: those of you begging for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be released, and those of you saying, if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released, peace will come in the southeast. It depends on how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released for peace to come in the southeast. You are now begging. What if he's not released? How will you be living in that country? Are you living as a second-class citizen in that country? Because what it means is that there are terrorists moving and nothing is happening to them. There are terrorist sponsors in the government, people like Nuhu Ribadu, people like the vice president of Nigeria. These are terrorist sympathizers. People like Pantami is still on the loose. People like Gumi is still granting interviews in Nigeria. And now they want you to beg to release Mazin Nnamdi. And then they release him out of your beg and then give him condition. How will you be living in that country? What kind of life will you be living? What kind of authority will you have in that country? You will now be living as like somebody that is living in an attachment in your own building. You are living as an attachee. Thank you, Mazi Lawrence. I cite you from Belgium. Now, do you know that people like Bishop Kuka, people like Bishop Kuka are now living a life of fear? What they are now doing is they have to accept. That's the condition I'm telling you. Bishop Kuka have been conditioned in a way that I know that there are Christian genocide. I know that there are persecution of Christians, but I don't need to admit it so that there will be peace. So that there can never be peace if you are living a life of compromise, because you agreeing to their terms means that you have compromised your integrity. You have compromised your belief system. There is no, you're not tough, you're not firm. And then when they look at you practicing that kind of Christianity in Nigeria, where they conditioned you, they will laugh at you and say, look at you. We gave you condition and you accepted. What kind of a belief system is this? You people don't even have a will. You cannot even decide and mean it. Where does your religion end? Where does it end? So please and please, those that have ears to hear, those that are watching this scenario, especially those of you in the West, understand that we are the only allies you can have. You see all this Islamic jamboree going on, all this game that the Islamic caliphates are planning and doing. It is at your own detriment if you continue to back them up. That's the reason why our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa must, by all means, without any kind of compromise or lies or deceit in the judicial system of Finland, he must be cleared and he must come out and he must stand to defend his people. Just the way Finland was cleared and free and defended Finland and fought for their own freedom, and they were liberated from Russia. Now, let us show you some of these videos. Come and see or hear what Islam is all about, what these terrorists are all about, who they are, and what they do to their people. Let us see. Listen to this. There are so many interviews like this from
all the terrorists.
Listen.
All these terrorist groups are Muslims. All the terrorists in the world.
There's never been one Christian terrorist.
One Christian group that come to attack people, raising, shouting, hallelujah, oh praise the Lord. There is no single one in the world. But when you go, Al-Qaeda are Muslim. Their leader, Saif Osama.
Are you listening? All the terrorists in the world, all. Now put your ears down and listen to some of the narratives, some of these crazy Islamic clerics or these crazy Islamic puppets are spewing on social media. All the terrorists are Muslims. There is no one single terrorist you have picked out in the world and you say this terrorist is a Christian terrorist. Now watch.
All these terrorist groups are Muslims. All the terrorists in the world.
There's never been one Christian terrorist.
One Christian group that come to attack people, raising, shouting, hallelujah, oh praise the Lord. There is no single one in the world. But when you go, Al-Qaeda are Muslim. Their leader, Saif Osama bin Laden, is Muslim.
Yes.
Al-Shabaab, Muslim. Boko Haram, Muslim. Houthi, Muslim. Hamas, Muslim. Harakat al-Mujahideen, Muslim. Ansaruddin, Muslim. All the terrorists in the world are Muslim. When they attack you, you attack them back.
Yeah.
Is another thing. It's
another
the same that happened in Plateau.
Yeah.
About this
Jackson.
a Plani people come to attack him. It's in his palm. He's working in his own place. He wanted to defend himself. But now the government come arrest him.
And I heard that's one of the conditions the United States gave Nigeria to release him first. So life is only in Jesus.
Yeah.
If you want life,
Come to Jesus.
the Bible and the Quran tells you that that is where life is.
Yeah.
That is where guidance is. Jesus is the way. That is where salvation is.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to show you another interview. I think that one is more interesting, where the man was giving an example of, the souvenir he has.
Genocide.
So share with me your persecution, your, all the things you've gone through from being a Muslim to a Christian.
The day that I converted to Christianity, this is the sign.
What?
We ex-Muslim, we are the sign of genocide in northern part of Nigeria. Right now that I'm telling you, I have
That mark on your
yes,
forehead.
This is from my family. My uncle, he's the one who did this for me.
Wow.
They break my leg.
Physically.
Basically, they took me out and throw me out. It's like I'm dead. This is the reason why I'm not afraid, whether you kill me, whether whatever, I must preach the gospel.
That's right.
This is the reason, even the name of my ministry say, the gospel of Christ must be preached.
That's right. Ishara Dole.
That's
right.
So our people in northern part of Nigeria facing a lot of persecution. I have more than 100 people right now that I'm telling you who are ex-Muslim. They are with me. They are living together with me.
Wow.
They are facing a lot of persecution. Their relative and their family, they pursue them out of their family. They don't have anything. Even where to stay is a problem for them.
I can imagine. And they're looking for them to kill.
Yes. And if they found them anywhere, they will kill them. Right now that I'm telling you, I'm now 17.
Ex-Muslims are being haunted. Ex-Muslims are being haunted. But I'm still looking for where ex-Christians are being haunted. None. You will never see anywhere an ex-Christian are being haunted. No way. You will never see anywhere where they are now having an open class or meeting where they will bring, hey, you are an ex-Muslim. No, you are an ex-Christian. No, ex-Muslim, come. And then we're having a meeting to tell us how you were a Muslim before, now you are a Christian. You don't see it. If you see it in the north anywhere, they will attack that place. But if you say you are an ex-Christian, their family will haunt you. They will deal with you. They will do you all manner of sorts. Is that the kind of life you want to live? Okay, look at Nnamdi Kanu now. The issue we are hearing now is that while he is there in Sokoto prison, he is gaining a lot of support, even from Muslims. That Nnamdi Kanu is gaining a lot of support, a lot of solidarity, even from Muslims. Do you know why? Because of the kind of love he assumes, because of the kind of charisma he carries, because of his persona. He's a person of peace, a person of love, a person of kindness. A person that, look, because this person is a Muslim, he doesn't segregate from that person. That person comes to him as a Muslim and asks him questions, he answers it. Even if you want to impose Islam on him, he will answer you, he will still tell you the reason why he will not accept it. But he will not impose Christianity on you or the tradition of the Biafrans on you. Now, they are even afraid, as I hear, that his influence is becoming something else in that correctional facility in Sokoto. So what have you against this Christian nation, against Biafrans? If our leaders' life of example is like that, then you can know what we as a nation would be. So let me continue to listen to this man as he begins to tell you everything you need to know about what Muslims who have seen the lack of love and lack of sincerity and integrity in their religion and decided to become Christians, or decided to leave the religion, even if they don't want to be a Christian, but they leave the religion. Maybe they decide to be an atheist. They are in trouble.
A problem.
I can imagine. And they're looking for them to kill.
Yes. And if they found them anywhere, they will kill them. Right now that I'm telling you, I'm now 17 years without going to my own village. My own village, now 17 years.
I keep telling people, when some men of God said there's no, whether genocide or no genocide, When some men of God say such thing does not exist in Nigeria, and some people also said it, some of them have never been to the north.
Yeah.
And those of them that have been to the north only came to the north when everything is fine in the capital city.
Yeah.
They carried security, escorted them, put them in a hotel, gave them food, they ate, and they left. Oh, north is good. They don't know anything. And I saw a preacher telling them, if you say there is really no persecution in the north, come and preach in Yobe.
Yeah.
Come and preach in KB. I'm waiting for you to come. Yeah. Let's go into the village and do crusade. Let's see whether you understand what's going on here. And some of us who grew in the north, who have been through, I told my own story of how, they burnt our house, burnt our church, chased after me to kill and all that. I've been through it, and I know what it is like to grow up in the north. I know what it is like to be confronted with persecution. I know what it is like for your life to be on the line. So for somebody to say there's no such thing in Nigeria, he must be dreaming.
Yes.
If the government is saying there's no such thing in Nigeria, why do we have IDP camps? No natural disaster, no earthquake, no earth tremor, but we have IDP camps. So why do we have IDP camps? Now, we will go into this genocide and all that, but let's begin with the history of Islam.
Complete Islam is genocide.
Wow.
During the time of Prophet Muhammad, Islam, they make 82 war, jihadis, during the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He attended 28 war, which is jihad. But 54 is during his time. But from the beginning of Islam, he used to go attend. But later, he will not longer go in there. Wow. Because he has a lot of followers.
Yes.
So, the beginning of Islam is war. This is the reason Islam must be continued doing the jihadis and raising different groups of jihadis.
Radical
like
groups.
Boko Haram, ISIS, ISWAP, Ansaruddin, Houthi, Hamas, different. More than 300 groups of jihadis right now that I'm telling you.
In Islam.
More than 300 groups of jihadis in the world, the whole over 7 continents of the world. Even in Nigeria, the time that Osman bin Fodio came to Nigeria, he started jihad. 1804 to 1808, 4 years, good 4 years.
Yep.
Attacking people, different places in northern part of Nigeria.
True.
They took the power from our local Hausa people.
True.
To Fulani people.
True.
To change our identity, all our leader, Hausa, now they're Fulani. Fulani, they are the one who rule this country. Even the governors, all the emirates in northern Nigeria, even the leader of Islam, which is the Caliphate of Sokoto, was Fulani. You can never ever see in Hausa a king. Single one in northern part of Nigeria.
Wow.
They are the one who did anything. Even when you go to the chamber, National Assembly, you can see them. All of them are Fulani.
True.
The secret of Quran to stay there in Arabic language.
Simple.
But if they mistakenly translate Quran in other languages, it's another issue. But me in Hausa, you can't come to say, we are going to read chapter women.
Yeah, chapter women.
Chapter
because
women.
there's a chapter
Surah
in Quran.
Nisa'i.
Yeah, chapter women.
Like a chapter cow.
Chapter of cow.
So all these things, they will not interpret it in Hausa or in Fulani language. This is the reason why our people post themselves to go in Arabia. Instead of them to learn Arab, they will learn radicalism of Islamic teachings.
Wow. That's it. And there's an update I saw on Sahara Reporters, just as an addendum this morning. I want to bring you this particular, update from Sahara Reporters, which is about a judiciary at war with its own laws. The tragic case of Justice Omotosho and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by Jude Njoko Esquire. I want to read this. I want us to see. It's a little bit of a long read, but I'm going to just position myself in a place where we can go through this this particular post together. It is from Sahara Reporters. A judiciary at war with its own laws. The tragic case of Justice Omotosho and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by Jude Njoko. This is a lawyer. Let's read this together. I'm sure you are going to be informed and you will like this. Let's go. And it was on the 3rd, which is yesterday, this was written. It's an opinion from this lawyer. Lawyer of what? Lawyer of intellect, that is well grounded in the laws of the land. There are moments in every nation's legal history when a single court ruling forces the country to confront an uncomfortable question. Are we a nation governed by laws or by the moods and improvisations of those who interpret them? Justice Bintanyaku's court produced one such moment in 2017. Now, Justice Omotosho of the Federal High Court has produced another. At the center of this legal storm is one man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and one disturbing judicial choice to insist on conducting a criminal trial under a repealed law. This is not merely a legal technicality. It is a constitutional earthquake. It is what? A constitutional earthquake. The law is clear. A repealed statute cannot sustain a trial. In any country that claims to operate under the rule of law, this would not even be a debate. In any country that claims to operate under the rule of law, this would not even be a debate. Remember that a few days before this law was used against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Tinubu came to speak with the judiciary, with the legal luminaries of Nigeria, told them to uphold the law, to uphold the law. And here is the sayings that actually holds a very strong claim. It says, in any country that claim to operate under the law, as the shameless president told them to uphold the law, in any country that claims to operate under the law, this would not even be a debate, because a repealed statute cannot sustain a trial. I continue. The Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013, TPAA, was repealed by the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. This is not an opinion, it is a matter of record. Yet, in ruling after ruling, both in the no case submission and the final judgment, Justice Omotosho never once took judicial notice of this repeal. He didn't even take the notice. It was brought before him time and time again. He didn't even take it. That is why today, if you go on the social media, if you go in the southeast, if you go in the southwest, if you go even in the north, the question everybody is asking Omotosho is this: Omotosho, show me the law. He didn't even care to look at it. Instead, he inserted the new infamous phrase, assuming without considering that the TPAA is repealed. Assuming is what he put it, assuming. A lawyer is assuming. So you are using assumption to judge a man and condemn him, assuming without considering. One does not assume a repeal. One does not assume a repeal. One acknowledges it as a matter of law. You don't put it into assumption. You acknowledge. You have to acknowledge that that law is repealed. You don't assume. This bastard of a lawyer that need to answer a question, Omotosho, where is the law? He choose to remove acknowledgement and replace it with assumption. That is why Chineke Geji Boyokun. That is why Omotosho must run to Sokoto, beg Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, put him on the next available flight and bring him back to Abuja. The Evidence Act mandates courts to take judicial notice of all enacted law. The Supreme Court decision from NPPC versus Fahimi to Abacha versus Fahimi state versus Fahimi states clearly that failure to take judicial notice of the law vitiates proceedings. Failure to take judicial notice of the law vitiates proceedings, not weakens them, not complicates them, nullifies them. Yet here we are. Oh, the savings clause cannot resurrect a dead law. Defenders of Justice Omotosho have clung to Section 98, subsection 3 of TPPA like a drowning man to drift wood, insisting it allows the judge to proceed under TPAA as if TPPA never existed. But this is intellectually dishonest. Savings clauses do not and have never resurrected dead statutes. Nigerian case law is overwhelming. AG Lagos versus Dosumu repeal extinguishes the legal force of the old law. Uwaifo versus A.G. Bendel. A repaired statute cannot be used to impose a new liabilities or sustain ongoing proceedings unless properly migrated. Afolabi versus Governor of Osun State. A savings clause preserves rights, not jurisdiction. Savings clauses preserves past liabilities, not procedural frameworks. You cannot run a 2024 trial under a 2013 law simply because both once dealt with terrorism. You cannot run a 2024 trial under a 2013 law simply because both once dealt with terrorism. If this logic stood, Nigeria could still conduct trial under the 1979 Constitution. Please bear with me. There is a siren. There is a siren. Well, this is a country of law, a country where things work. Yeah, so the siren there and the noise is uncomfortable to me. All right. So if this logic stood, I hope I've opened my microphone. Yeah, I've opened it. If this logic stood, Nigeria could still conduct trials under the 1979 Constitution, military decrees from 1998, or even colonial ordinances. The absurdity speaks for itself. The Supreme Court's misstep and the ripple effect. It is not secret in legal circles that the Supreme Court's December 2023 judgment created the confusion Justice Obotosho is now exploiting. In what can only be described as a per incuriam oversight, the court declared that TPAA and SEMA were extant when both had been repealed. That single line has now become a shield for judicial stubbornness. But even the Supreme Court cannot breathe life into a repealed statute. If they made an error, the remedy is clarification, not perpetuation. Why Nigerians should be worried? This is not about sympathizing with Nnamdi Kanu. This is about what kind of judiciary Nigeria wants. Because if a judge can ignore the Constitution, the Evidence Act, binding precedents, and an extant federal status, then every Nigerian citizen is vulnerable. All of you are in trouble. You are in a big almighty trouble. If a repaired law can be used today because a judge assumes, can you imagine? Because a judge assumes without conceding that it was repaired, then no one is safe from arbitrary prosecution. When legality becomes negotiable, liberty becomes expandable. Liberty becomes expendable. The human cost of institutional pride. Some ask, why won't Justice Obotosho simply apply the correct law? The answer is uncomfortable. Admitting the mistake would unravel the entire trial and embarrass the judicial establishments. And nothing terrifies the Nigerian judiciary more than public embarrassment. That is why the lawyer at the appeal court that actually gave Nnamdi Kanu the freedom and said that no court can try him. Do you know what happened? After that, that lawyer disappeared from the scene and actually gave an open lecture and told them that the judiciary is in a big mess. She was that lady. How many of you watched that program? She said the judiciary was in a big mess, that if they want to save Nigeria, it must start from there. And Tinubu, a jagabandit criminal, a drug baron, have come within judiciary, putting someone like Wike in Abuja, who is now building houses for judges, and now they can decide to use a repaired law and use all these things and behave as if nothing, with impunity, as if nothing can happen. Are you guys following? He says, and nothing terrifies Nigerian judiciary more than public embarrassment. So instead of correcting the error, the system doubles down. Instead of acknowledging illegality, it manufactures logic to justify it. Instead of upholding justice, it protects institutional ego. Meanwhile, one man, whether you support his politics or not, sits in solitary confinement, his liberty suspended, his health deteriorating, all because the system prefers stubbornness over justice. A judiciary must choose law or ego. There are two things here you must choose: law or ego. It is obvious Omotosho has chosen ego instead of law, and he calls himself a judge. Omotosho, show me the law. What is at stake here is not Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's personality. It is the soul of Nigerian jurisprudence. A judiciary that refuses to obey its own law is not a court of justice. It is a court of convenience. That's why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu called it a shrine of dishonesty, a shrine of evil. Justice Omotosho's ruling must not be allowed to stand. It must not be allowed to stand. If you ever want a Nigeria, if the whole of the 222 million Nigerians want a Nigeria, then number one, I told them the number one problem. Look, the gravest problem of Nigeria right now is not even the terrorists going on. It is the judicial mismanagement, this judicial abomination going on. If Nigeria must first of all stand to be able to fight terrorism, this judicial evil must be dismantled immediately. Justice Omotosho's ruling must not be allowed to stand as a matter of must, not because of politics, but because of precedent. If the judicial experiment is permitted to settle into law, Nigeria will wake up one day to find that status no longer matter, repair no longer matter, jurisdiction no longer matters, and due process is whatever a judge says it is. That is the road to judicial anarchy, and Nigeria has suffered enough. Can somebody begin to give a round of applause to this particular judicial juggernaut who has, hold on guys, this judicial juggernaut who has done justice to this matter? You know, a lot of people are rising up to attend to this issue, and it gives me so much joy because, you know, it is happening in my own time that all this darkness is being repaired by a simple light coming from the land of the rising sun. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told them, the persecution of Ndi Igbo is going to end with me. You don't know that there's a God of justice? Okay, you don't believe? You don't believe that there is a God of justice? There's a dog nearby here. You don't believe that there's a God of justice? You will soon wake up to the realities of it. The God of justice is alive and well, and Nigeria must be made to understand that justice for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is inevitable and it must happen. Listen to him where he told you.
Where's the lying news agency of Nigeria? Are they here? Those liars and deceivers, are they here? That distort the news. You don't know what law is. You don't know what justice is. Where's the news agency of Nigeria? What are they? You don't know that God is a God of justice. You don't know that? That God in heaven is a God of justice. You don't know that?
This man you see here, now you begin to understand the reason why this white is always on him. The reason why he insisted on putting on this white to make sure he will use this white to repel all the darkness that you are trying to use to rub on him and rub on his people. He will bring an end to this evil. And Mazi Simon Ekpa is also coming back. The wind of change is blowing, and it will begin in Biafra land. For Africa, the West must know this. We are the only ally you have. If you support these caliphate of vampires against Biafra, your only true ally, you are building a ditch that you will end inside. And yet, Biafra will come with you or without you. I am Raphael Chamaka Ajere, Pastor Vam Vam Vam, Airborne.